You know, we manage retirement investments. That's what we do. If you have a Roth IRA, an IRA, 401k, whatever, we manage those investments for you. jazzwealth.com. I hope you'll check it out. But one of the other things that we do is we help people with personal finance issues. A lot of our clients call and say, hey, I've got this debt. This is how I want to pay it off. Does that make sense? I'm thinking about buying a car. Here's kind of my situation. Should I do that? And over the years, I've found that there's a few things that people do that really hurt them. And today I want to share those with you. So here's 4 mistakes you're making with your money. First up is budgeting. Now don't get all worried here. I'm not gonna tell you to budget like crazy and like cut out your Starbucks, cut out your Chipotle, things like that. That's what I call diet budgeting. People that essentially budget the same way they go on a diet. They say, that's it, I'm not gonna eat anything for 5 days, I'm gonna just suck down water and I'm gonna lose 40 pounds, that's how it's gonna go. People tend to do that with their budget. They say, okay, we're gonna stop going out to dinner, we're gonna stop going on vacations, we're gonna stop paying for everything and just save our money. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about forming a spreadsheet or using an app that can tell you the dollars coming in versus the dollars going out and give you that number. Over time, what happens is, let's say you use an app. There's a lot of great apps out there. Just Google search it, you'll love it. There's tons of them. Those apps keep track of the money that you make and the money that you're spending. And over time, you'll find ways to save money. You'll find things that you consider unnecessary and weed them out over time. Just like in dieting, if you just start choosing sensible meals, sensible foods to eat, over time it'll all work out. So number 1 is budgeting. I don't know many people that actually budget their money. Dollars coming in versus dollars coming out, make that number positive. The second thing I want to talk about is the amount of money that people spend on cars. Oh my God, you people in your cars. Now I'm guilty too. I've been there. I've spent good money on cars and I've bought really cheap cars also. 86% of you that buy new cars are financing it, and the average at the moment is just over $30,000 according to Bloomberg. Now, the monthly term comes in at an average of 68 months. Just means that some people chose 66, some people chose 60, and some people went as far as 72 or higher, and so we've come to this kind of average of 68. Well, that puts you at $500 a month. Let's think about this for a second. $500 a month to drive a car. Maybe you think that's a lot, maybe you don't. But what if we took $250 and spent that on a nice car, but not quite as nice, and then we took the other $250 and invested it? If you did that when you were 35 years old, right at 35, you'd have over $300,000 in retirement. Now imagine if you're watching this and you're 30, or you're 32, or you're 26, whatever, that number goes up significantly. So quit spending so much money on cars, and if you have to spend that much money on cars, save some money first so you're not financing such a large amount. It is unbelievable how much we spend on cars. Okay, the third thing that I want to talk about is that credit card. Now, I'm not against you using a credit card if you want. I've done great videos on credit cards and maybe how you could use them a little bit better. But what I'm talking about is when you use a credit card for random expenses or unplanned expenses, and that's the big one. Everyone tends to pull that credit card out when the car breaks down, when the dog needs to go to the vet, when you go on vacation, things like that. You just start kind of swiping. Next thing you know, you've racked up $1,000 and you think, no problem, I'll pay it back, $20 a month, we'll work it out. Well, we do the math there as well. If the interest rate, the average is about 17% right now, believe it or not, that's the average. 17%, if you paid $20 a month, it'd take you over 7 years to pay $1,000 back on a credit card. $1,000, that's it. It would take you 7 years. And you would pay $750 more just in interest. That's if you only spent $1,000. How many of you out there have only spent $1,000 on your credit card? Be honest. So, on a credit card, that's just $1,000 assuming you had one unplanned expense over a 7-year period. What happens if you had more? What happens if you spent more randomly? You were just buying stuff on it. So really, really think about when you use that credit card, and we really got to get focused on using that responsibly. The last thing I want to talk about is people that don't save enough for retirement, but more importantly, people that don't take enough risk in their retirement investments. Now, I know this one might sound a little bit boring, but hear me out. Most people think that they're taking too much risk in their retirement. They're nervous. We all saw 2008. We saw that whole mess, and it makes them very nervous. That might happen again in the future. I don't know. But we can't invest as if we're scared of that. What we have to do is invest for the appropriate amount of risk for your goals. Your goals are going to differ from someone else's goals, are going to differ from someone else's goals, and are going to differ from my goals. So the first thing we got to do is figure out, what do you see in retirement? What makes sense to you? And then we're going to apply some numbers to it to make sure that you're putting in what you need to put in. And then on my end, what I'm going to do is make sure that you have the appropriate investments over the lifetime of your investment profile. So we have to take enough risk. A lot of you are in bonds, solely bonds. You might have money in CDs still. I don't know why. Stop doing that. You have money in savings, and the investments that you choose tend to be pretty sparse in your retirement accounts. And so if you're not taking enough risk, then you can't benefit from that 7% average that the markets are returning. So if you need help with that, go to our website, jazzwealth.com. Up at the top, click schedule a call. Just put your name, number in there, and the time locally that you want me to call you. I'd be happy to speak with you, help you through anything that has to do with personal finance, help you with your retirement accounts. If you have a 401k and you want to roll that over, I can help you with that. There's never any fees, no charge. It's very, very simple. And hope to talk to you soon.